So in the last lecture, we discussed about how to finish up the model, right? How to uh, create the entire TOA model. In this lecture, we are going to create a script through which we will be able to import our TOA data, which is here, right? So data into our model, right? We will basically load this, which is in a file system right now, into the database, right? So let me create a file here, and let's call it as import data.js. Okay, it's the spelling mistake, sorry. Okay, so here with the help of this file, we will try to import our toasimple.json files data into the database. Right now we only have two or tours, right? And these tours might not match the entire criteria, right? There are no images, ratings, all these things here, so we might have to delete the previous tours as well and then create all the tours with the help of these tours, right? Okay, so what do we need in order to do that? The first thing is, of course, we need to connect to the database, right? So in the server we have this code. Let me copy all these things because we need everything, right? So copy this thing and come back here and paste it. Of course, we need the .env because that's where the MongoDB database details are mentioned. We don't need the app now, so let me take this out. And we don't need the port, so let me take this out as well. And of course, we need to be able to connect to the database. Once we connect it to the database, of course, we need the tour model here. So let's import const tour model equals to require models and tour model. Okay, so once you have the tour model, now to this tour model we need to load the data from the file that is toursimple.json. We need to be able to read it as well, so let's import the file system as well. Require, and it is dot slash, it's in the, I think from this file it's in the same location. So tour simple tour hyphen simple.json. Okay, okay, I think this is clear as well. So finally, give me a minute, sorry. Okay, so now that we have both tour model and the file system, so let's read the tours from the file system and load it into the tour model. That's what we are trying to do here. Okay, so let's read the first thing. Const all the tours is equals to, we have to parse it because once you read the value from the file, it will be in a string format. But in order to load it into the tour model, it should be a JavaScript object. So for that, of course, we need to parse it. So JSON dot parse. Okay, and we have to pass the location. Sorry, we need to read it now from the file system fs dot read file sync. In a synchronous way we can read it. Read file sync. I think I miss spelling here. Read file sync, and we need to pass the path here first. That is the thing, right? Okay, so read file sync, this is the path. Of course, we need to have the character encoding as well. UTF-8, this shouldn't be missed. Okay, so once you read the tour data into the tours, now let's load it to the database, right? So which is a asynchronous task, right? So for that, let's have a function here called as import data, which is an asynchronous task, right? So of course you also need to try catch block. So it's really easy with the Codium. So let me just hit tab. So observe the code here. So the function import data is a asynchronous function because the operations are returning promises. We need to await for it. So with the help of tour model, we are going to create the tour with all the tours data that we just read, right? And of course, we are also logging that data is successfully loaded, right? And if there is any error, we are simply logging it. And once these two things are done, we need to exit the process so that we can run other commands. So this is a hard exit, process.exit function. Okay, okay, so the next thing is, for some reason if you want to delete all this data, So we can have a function for that as well, right? So const delete data, right? Observer again, to dot delete many is a method available on the any model, any MongoDB model, Mongoose model, right? So we will await for the operation of deleting, and we will log that deleted successfully. Okay, these methods are pretty straightforward, right? I don't have to explain anything here. And if there is an error, it will be logged as well. So let's just save it. Okay, so now the thing is, we need to be able to see the output. We need to be able to run this file. How are we going to run this file, right? Of course, just by hitting npm start won't run this file, because it's a separate file. It's not imported or done anything, right? So how would we run this file then, right? So we'll use the node to run this file simply by mentioning its path and everything, right? And of course, we when do we want to import and when do we want to delete? How do we decide that, right? So for that we have a special log. Okay, so a special method available on the process called as process.arg. Okay, so in the process.arg, let's just check what this is first. Okay, so let me quit this thing, or maybe we don't have to, we can just no, sorry, this can keep running, no problem. Let's just open a new terminal here, and I'm taking the help of Node to run my command here, import data.js. The path of this is, from the tools we need to go into the data folder, right? So from here we need to go into the data folder. Sorry, we need to go to the server first, cd serve, and from there we need to go, sorry, it's not changed, we need to run the command node and data, and inside that we have import data.js. This is what we want to run, right? If we hit enter, we have an error here. It says it's not a function, read file sync. Okay, there is an error here with this method. Let's just check this once. I think it just read file. Okay, for some reason it's not working. Let's just see. Yes, we have got an error again. Oh, sorry. FS. We are trying to do wrong thing here. Sorry. It's just a module, right? Okay. It's just simple FS module. That's what I was thinking. Sorry. Okay. I imported the file itself here. Sorry. My mistake. Now it should actually work. Of course, we need to mention the file system. Sorry. Encoding format. And let's just come back and run the same command again. Let's clear everything and run this thing. Okay, so from this log we got two things, right? We got an array, and there the first value is the value where your node command is present, like this, where is this execution thing present, right? It's installed in the node.js folder in the C program files, right? So that is the path of the node. And the second thing is path of this, where is this located, right? In the node.js class I have tours project, their server and data, right? So this is the path, right? So now let's just cut this out and try to have one more argument. Okay, like import. If for importing, right? If we hit enter, so observe here the third value is in the array, third value is the import that we mentioned here. We can change this. Sometimes it can be import and sometimes it can be delete, right? So for that it's simple, right? So we can handle it here. Now if we don't need this anymore, we can terminate this. If the process.arg, right, the second value 0 1 2, if it is import, we will simply run the function import data, else we will run the function delete data. Clear? Simple. If the process.arg, the second third is import, this one, then we will run the function import data that we created here, right? Import data. And if it is delete data. Okay. Okay. So now before importing, let's delete everything. Okay. And hit enter. So it said data successfully deleted, right? That means we shouldn't get any value here, right? If we hit send, we don't have any result anymore, right? So this is successfully working. Now let's try out this thing, importing, right? So let's import. We have an import, but I think it seems we have an error here, I think. So let's just come back here. I think we have some dummy data here at the end. We don't need all these things. These are the values that's giving us errors. We can remove them out. Okay. Let's try and run this again. Okay. And import. So we still have error. It's duplication key error, the forest hiker. We might have these errors again and again. We have the forest hiker, the sea explorer, snow adventurer. Okay, I don't see any mistakes here. It's a mongoose server error. It says name one, the forest hiker. Let me just comment out. Okay, we might have. Okay, I think before when we try to load, it might have loaded 9 values already. Only the errored ones didn't get loaded. Yeah, successfully we have loaded, but let's just delete everything once and then try to load it back. We don't have any values now, right? So we don't have any twos. Let's load and it should all work fine. Okay, we don't have any values. Let's import. So data successfully imported, and let's just try and hit send again. We have 9 toes that is present in the database now, right? We can deal with them in the database. So this is a simple script that you can use to import and delete data from the database. Clear? Thank you.